All right, y'all. Sky Squad, we're back in the building, and we need to have a little discussion about Atlanta. We've been talking so much about Love and Marriage, Huntsville. We've been talking so much about Potomac and Beverly Hills that it's time that we revisit what is going on down to the Atlanta. Now, Atlanta has always been a perennial favorite for me. And it's really kind of where I got my start in this space, talking about stuff that was going on with Atlanta around the time of one of those particular reunions. I can't even remember which one at this point. But so Atlanta holds a special place in my heart, right? And so when we think about what's going on down to the Atlanta area, we've got to actually talk about, what we can expect from this upcoming season. And we have some tea. So we know, of course, there's probably going to be the obligatory Kenya and Marlo drama, as well as we've heard that Martell will be making an appearance as well, or appearances, and that he might have gotten into it with a certain Miss Kenya Moore. But now we have some extra tea to spill, okay? And some of you guys may have seen this if you follow some of the accounts that I tell you about. So, one of those accounts being Housewives of ATL on Instagram. Listen, if you want some tea about Atlanta and the goings on with Real Housewives of Atlanta, head on over there. Let them know I sent you. Okay. Because the tea is being served, spilt, and released. All right. So one of the things that we have heard based on a post that Housewives of ATL has picked up is that the girls are in Portugal, or were in Portugal, based on what we could see here. We've seen the photographs online on social media. Now, according to one of the ladies' makeup artists, Portugal has been lit. Okay. This is in the caption. And this makeup artist also claims that season 15 will premiere in May, which makes, and so Housewives of ATL is surmising that this makes sense since Real Housewives of New Jersey is coming in February. All right. So we're going to get into a little bit of this tea right here and some explanations about why some of this may be happening. All right. So the post says, "Child, these people got me on every episode of hashtag Real Housewives of Atlanta. I was so set up, y'all. The show airs in May, and I was not ready." So let's get into all of it, and then we'll get into the date. It says, "I am not okay. Welp, and Lord, the tea is too much. I need a vacay from a vacay. I love them, but dang, can we just get along?" So that tells us while we don't see Candy pictured in this photograph here, and I didn't see her in the other photographs either. I have no idea whether or not Candy's there. I'm sure she is, but who knows? I just don't see her pictured in this photograph. Um, we have a new cast member or cast members. Really, we see Manetta here. Pretty sure she'll be back in a friend capacity. And we see a new person here named, I think her name is Courtney. All right. Now, let's get into the timeline. So we've heard that Jersey will be premiering in February. I've heard that from multiple outlets. Jersey typically airs during the week. So what I like to do when I'm looking at Atlanta or Potomac or Married to Medicine time schedules, I'm typically looking at Sundays, right? So when I think about Sundays, because that has been the typical date for Atlanta for a while, like for as long as I can remember. It could have been at another date. I don't remember earlier on in the like first season or whatever, but I know that traditionally Atlanta, Potomac, Married to Medicine, at least as of recent years, Married to Medicine has been Sundays. There was one year where they had it on Friday nights, and I was like, "What are y'all doing? Why would we do this?" Anyway, I digress. So Potomac, I'm assuming Potomac will end in February, okay? Because we are midway through the season, and I would imagine that we still have, let's say, at least 8 more episodes to go. All right. 8 or 9 more episodes to go. And then we'll probably have a 3-part reunion. All right. So that should take us into what? March. I mean, or early March at the latest. Then we're supposed to be getting the Escape show in March. My assessment is that Escape will follow or transition somewhere at the tail end of Potomac, enter Escape, and then Escape will take us through from March to April, and then at some point in May that will end, and then we'll get Real Housewives of Atlanta. That is my estimation. So I could be wrong, but I tend to think or believe that Bravo likes to keep Sundays for the shows with primarily um African American cast. That just seems to be the sweet spot for some reason. All right. So let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section down below. The only other drama that I can think of that we haven't necessarily seen play out is apparently, according to Housewives of ATL, Monyetta and Marlo have unfollowed each other, or one has unfollowed the other. Definitely follow Housewives of ATL to find out, that and more. And also where Miss Kenya Moore went after she left the cast trip. So be sure to follow them for that information and for that tea. All right. More Atlanta news. We have Marlo Hampton talking about the new season. So let's get into that. All right. So our friends over at Jay's Reality Blog happened to capture this bit of intel. Okay. And Marlo is spilling some tea about the new season. So let's get into that.
The season is epic. I tell the truth. Um, this season is amazing. It's amazing. You're going to see a lot of ups and downs, twists and turns, truth and lies, uh, acting, realness, crying. You're going to see a little bit of everything, but you are not going to listen. You're not going to want to miss Real Housewives of Atlanta. Seriously, y'all. It's off the chain. You're going to see a lot of hating on Miss Hampton. You know that. We do have new faces. You're going to be excited to meet the new faces. Um, you're going to like them. You're going to like them. I think you. I mean, you're not going to like them, especially like me. It's a couple new faces. One new face I really am enjoying and I love and I'm really getting to know. So I think you're going to be super excited as well. How is this season going? Dior for real?
Marlo spilling the tea about the new season. You know, I I kind of I always take these things with a grain of salt when someone kind of gives a preview like that because it's very general. It doesn't really tell me a lot about something new and novel happening. And I think that is one of the things that some shows end up missing the longer they are on is a thing that incites something within the cast that propels everyone's story and narrative arc forward. So let me give you an example of what I mean. Let's talk Love and Marriage Huntsville in order to do that. All right. So Love and Marriage Huntsville, at the end of the reunion from last year, I think it was in December. You guys may recall that there was a question at that reunion about whether Maurice was with the guys on the guys trip and around Miss Ariane when the guys went out on their guys trip. And Maurice was like something to the effect of like, no, I wasn't there. And then after the reunion, and we all kind of gave it a side eye because it didn't seem quite to be the same story that was given to the other people. okay, on the cast. So when he said it out loud, it kind of made it seem like, bro, it sounds like you lying. So Marcel then posts after the reunion the photo of him, Maurice, Martell, and all of them on the boys' trip down to Atlanta, thus calling into question what Maurice had said on the reunion. And it caused a major ripple. This is what I mean by like an inciting incident that happens that propels everybody forward. So by the time we were heading back into the start of season 4 in, I think, late March, we were all ready because they set the internet ablaze. It set off a chain reaction of events that spilled over into the new season, had to be addressed, and gave us enough content, honestly, to last for quite some time. So that's what I mean by that. But speaking about Love and Marriage Huntsville, all right, we have a new teaser clip that is making the rounds on OWN, okay? And in this clip, you're going to see Mel having a meeting, a sit-down ponderosa with Marsau. And in this meeting, Marsau is going to bring up his brother, okay? And the conversation I'm assuming that he had with his brother Mark about Miss Van, okay? Now, this conversation that was aired on television caused a lot of people to want to boycott the show because they felt like Mark should not have been given a voice on this platform. Melody in the clip does not want that. If you saw the last week's episode, she doesn't want to talk about this, especially anything related to her mom and that situation, which is understandable because it's hard to. I think having any level of discourse about somebody's mom in general, I think we've seen it's hard for Letitia. It's going to be hard for Mel. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. What I do know is that here's the thing. Would you have believed that they attempted to have a conversation with Mark if we never saw it on camera? Or did it even matter to you? That's what I will ask you. Let me know in the comments down below. But anyway, according to this clip, Melody feels hoodwinked, bamboozled, okay? And set up, okay? Because she says in the clip that if she would have known what this was, if he had respected her enough to let her know what this conversation was going to be about via the phone, she would have politely declined. Now, this was the same conversation that Marsau was telling Letitia about in last week's preview, where she was basically, I guess she had a problem with it, and he kind of made a joke about her being jealous, and she went off. She snapped, okay? So, would you be upset if your significant other was having a conversation with another man or another woman or something like that about um some business that he might have wanted to clear up? Like, yo, we had this conversation all together at the comeback group meeting when we met earlier a few weeks ago. I'm reporting to you that we had that conversation, and hopefully the gap will be closed if we can do X, Y, or Z. I don't know. We will have to see how that conversation plays out tonight, but let me know. I do want to bring up one last thing that we talked about, and I'm just kind of I'm having fun today, so just bear with me as I go down this rabbit hole. But when we talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville, we talked yesterday about the schedule for Love and Marriage DC when it comes back. And one of the things that we discussed that I want to actually kind of dive deeper into is the schedule according to, especially when I looked at what TV Deets had posted, because I could visually see it. And I'm going to make it bigger for you guys so you can take a look at it. But this is going to be the upcoming schedule for Love and Marriage Huntsville. All right. And It says for the save the dates, Love and Marriage Huntsville will wrap season 5 with a sure to be fired 3-part reunion. Part 1 will air on December 31st at 8 p.m. I I have an issue with that because it's not an issue, but programming wise, I just hope that it is, for viewership. I feel like people are going to be out and about. People going to want to be outside or heading to church or whatnot for New Year's Eve. So my fear is that there's not going to be a lot of discourse or really talk much about the first part of this reunion because it's going to be New Year's Eve leading into New Year's Day. So in terms of a recap, I mean, that's going to be very interesting. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, will a lot of you guys be in the house to watch? Let me know in the chat. And will you be around enough to watch a recap on New Year's Day when a lot of people are making their black eyed peas? You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. Okay. Um, so that caught my attention and I was like, oh no, that is troublesome to me. So let me know if you're going to be in the house. And some people, listen, some people l- like to be in the house on New Year's Eve. And if that's you, let us know. But for the rest of us, it's gonna be things going on. So that's my little worry. That's my little fear, my little quagmire for myself personally. But you guys let me know what you think in the conversation down below. With that being said, listen, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so. I like having these types of videos to like where today I made a conscious decision that I was just gonna chit chat with y'all. And talk about, some of the things that we have coming up with Atlanta and Love and Marriage Huntsville. And we're obviously going to be watching Huntsville tonight. But I just thought that, including this in the conversation in the broader context of what I meant by an inciting incident that I feel like will propel the storyline forward. And I even look back to there's been so many things that have happened in Atlanta that I could equate this to, but I feel like that's what's been missing from these past couple of seasons, and we need that. Even the season with the Bolo situation, that propelled the narrative forward, but it failed to deliver because we had already heard so much about it. So sometimes I feel like when it happens, you have to capitalize on it a bit faster than okay, something happened in October. We're not going to talk about it until May. That's a little long lead time. Okay. So Bravo, you might have to get a little faster on this lead time for when you start airing your shows. Okay. That's just my thoughts. But if it means better editing and a more quality show, then I'm here for it. All right, y'all. That's my diatribe for today. I'm going to get off my soapbox and I'm going to let y'all enjoy this Saturday, and I will catch you in the next video.